So we try to start any new sport that Special Olympics Ohio recognizes as a sport. So the newest sport has been offered is cheer. Actually, I would have to say Lucas County was a big part of getting cheer started in Special Olympics Ohio to be considered a sport. We had a volunteer who was absolutely amazing and was a huge advocate to get Special Olympics Ohio to have cheer be recognized as a competitive sport. So I think this is our 4th year. Cheer is? Yes, I believe it's a 4th year that it's offered as a competitive sport. So at our state games this winter in February, cheer will compete against other cheerleaders and squads across Ohio. They meet twice a week now, and they have a routine that they're practicing. It's super cool. And we're talking about offering things like cornhole.
Hey everybody, this is Tony.
And this is Paul, and we're coming at you from the Friends for Life podcast, where we discuss the ongoing lives and issues of people with developmental disabilities to spark positive change in the field.
And we have a lot of fun doing it.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Friends for Life podcast. Thanks for tuning back in. We have Kelly and Sherrie here today to talk about Special Olympics. How are you both doing this afternoon?
Doing well.
Fabulous. Thank you for asking.
Awesome. Well, we've had some previous conversations about Special Olympics, but before we dive into the heavy stuff or the detail of what Special Olympics is all about, especially here in Northwest Ohio, how did both of you get involved in working with Special Olympics? Because, it's not a common route.
So I started at the board 30 years ago. I just had my 30-year anniversary.
Congrats.
And I started volunteering with Special Olympics my first year working for the board. Played unified softball for about 8 years and bowled. I knew this was always my dream job. But we work in a facility where the jobs have to come up for bid. So when this job came up for bid 10 years ago, I jumped on it.
Yeah.
And best decision I ever made. So absolutely love my job.
Wonderful. Sherrie?
And I started with the board 15 years ago about, and I was an SSA at the time, and I actually volunteered as a coach for Special Olympics basketball and got my foot in the door that way, and then got the opportunity to, after I got my master's degree, they needed a coordinator, and one of my programs is Special Olympics, and again, it's just awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
We both love sports, so that helps too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know I heard some comments about the football posters on the way in here.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we're both
All right, we're
Browns
done.
fans.
Browns and
We're
Ohio
both Browns fans
and
too.
the Ohio State
Wow.
University.
I feel sorry for you
I
guys.
know.
It's been a rough
Special
year.
Olympics is a picker-upper for us.
Well, I've been through that myself because, you see what we went through with U of M.
Yeah.
But I'm also a Raiders fan, and I'm also a Celtics fan. Celtics, we're doing good right now. And I still think we can pull some stuff off. But, Las Vegas has not been something.
Rough year for
Like the
them.
Browns.
So with the Special Olympics, let's start with what's your favorite sport to assist with, to help with, to watch in the Special Olympics? Because I'm sure it's all just a good time, but there's got to be a favorite.
Personally, my favorite is softball because I played softball for 25 years. My favorite season, though, to watch the athletes is basketball because we have 4 different teams. We have 4 ranges of divisions and talent, and we also have a skills basketball team who are developing their skills, just learning how to play. And we have cheerleaders who come cheer. So we get to see so many of our athletes during basketball season. So that's
awesome.
my favorite one to watch.
I have to say probably basketball as well because I played basketball in high school. I coached basketball at the high school level for a year or two, and I enjoy basketball. But I also love to watch bocce because a lot of times you have
Right, I love
people
that
that
too.
maybe if you look at them, you may not think that, they're an athlete. And it's just a little more, I don't know.
But it's cutthroat.
Yeah, it is cutthroat. It's amazing how they go at it. So I really enjoy watching bocce as
Forgot
well.
about bocce. That's a good one.
Really? So here in Northwest Ohio specifically, what all does Special Olympics offer? I mean, what sort of activities are you offering, days of the week? How often do they train? And
So we offer sports year-round. So we offer 12 sports. Winter is our busiest season. For example, like I said, we have 4 basketball teams. We have swim, we have powerlifting, and cheer, both competitive, and we call it a pep club who cheer basketball. So typically each sport has a training of 2 nights a week.
Okay.
So like a Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday. And that's typical for each sport. We try to give each sport 2 days a week of training, and we're pretty strict on following, that athletes need to, show up and need to be accountable. You miss practice, you need to call and tell us why, and I think it took us a few years for everybody to get on board with that concept, but I think it's really caught on and people have done well with it.
We try to run our programming like a high school program. Obviously, we have different variables with behavior and illness and functionality and things like that. So we try to accommodate, but we really stick to, if you want to play, you got to come to practice.
Yep.
Every athlete has to sign a code of conduct. So they have to maintain their composure. They have to treat the other team with respect, their peers, their coaches, much like, in high school, we didn't sign any code of conduct, but you got benched or you got in trouble if you, mouth backed or did something. And so that's something that Special Olympics across the board really feel strongly about, and we really try to uphold that. So I think that's something. And we actually even have Special Olympics International, they have a code of conduct for all of our coaches that they have to sign, who are all volunteers, and as actually people who are watching, not
Spectators, code of conduct.
Thank you.
Yep.
So, it's something that it's really a focus of Special Olympics in general.
That's actually pretty good. I could see Tony getting real upset at a Special Olympics match and just flying off the handle.
I've been there. It was awesome. My son, my oldest, he coached down in Columbus this year.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
Yeah, and it was super awesome to see like the baton being handed over. And just like a quick backstory, I did like a lot of people don't even think Paul knows this. Kelly, you and I used to work together when I was younger and stuff, and I used to call you Mama Kelly because a lot of people didn't understand. Well, like my name is Tony Stewart, but I took my mother's last name before, and it was Watson. So I used to always call her Mama Kelly when we would see each other and stuff in the hallway.
And I have so many people, so many athletes.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of athletes
I'm Mama Kelly in Special Olympics. That's why I'm laughing.
So it was always cool to be a part of those things. And even back then in a lot of industries, you were one of the people who made sure we did things. Like it was fun. It was enjoying. So I just like, I love to see the progression and where you are and how you guys are helping the community. So I do want to ask, what about championships? I think I seen you just won one not too long ago, especially in basketball, right?
Yes, our Division II basketball team won the state championship last season. Our Division IV went the year before and came in 3rd place. But our Division II team is comparable to a high school basketball team. It would be nice to get some more spectators out to those games because a lot of those athletes, either live alone, don't have family connections like some of our others, or, don't have a provider to come bring them. They come on their own. So, because they are a lot of fun to watch. We had the Pike fraternity come play them last week. And the Pike won, but it was a good experience for our athletes.
Humbling experience.
Yes. They realized they are not quite conditioned like they thought they were. Conditioning is a big part of basketball basketball. And
one of the cool things about Special Olympics is Kelly mentioned divisions. And what that means is we want like skills to compete against like skills. There's nothing, I grew up playing in Fostoria, and we were historically poor basketball team because we always played the big dogs. We were in the GLL, and we played Whitmer, the largest school in the state, and Sylvania Northview and Clay and all these huge schools, and we always got romped. And the cool thing about this is depending on your skill level, we can, if we offer that team, so the Division II is Division I is obviously the highest, and Division II is our highest team. So they really do play at a high level, and it's so fun to watch them. They could be very comparable to high school teams, except they're older. We've got
Or
some
like a
30-year-olds.
Or like a rec league at the Y.
Okay.
And then we don't have any Division III teams, and a Division IV is 2 steps below that. So they may make a few mistakes, and the refs may not call every little thing. And then we have two Division Vs, which is I don't want to say the lower end, but they're the least skilled, but they're still able to play enough and have enough skill to play games, and they may travel or double dribble, and it may not get called every time, but it gives them an opportunity to play like anyone else and build their skills, and it's just really cool to watch people's progression. We've had people move up also as people age, because you could be 40, we have 40 and 50-year-olds still playing, and they slow down a little bit, so they might drop down, but it's just really cool that we're able to offer that as a larger county and be able to host that many different teams and skill levels.
So with the Special Olympics, how does someone who maybe wants to get involved, how do they just have like a sign up online? Is there a vetting process? How does it all work?
We do have a website that individuals can get on, and there is an application on there. The one thing that is required is you have to get a physical that is good for 3 years. But we are starting to open up to visit high schools and talk to special ed departments, because our program starts at 16. So we are sometimes missing some of these high school kids. And if we don't get them in high school and they graduate, a lot of them, they may not ever know. We have had several start in the past few years who said, I have never heard of Special Olympics before. And I'm like, what?
Or the fact that we had it.
Yeah,
right?
that we had it in Lucas County. So that is one thing we've been working on, is going to the high schools and talking to the special ed programs to draw in some younger athletes. Our oldest athlete is 60. She went to USA Games last year.
Nice.
In swim, yep. So, and she skis. So
Look at that.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
Dude,
Skiing's hard.
Yes, exactly.
We're dropping that program eventually, but
she is our skier
She's a
still.
skier,
And
right.
yeah.
Where do y'all go to ski?
that's
She
the
goes
problem.
up to
Yeah, I was gonna say,
she goes to Boyne Mountain.
Oh, wow.
And then state skiing is in Indiana. We, partner with them and offer the state winter games in Indiana. So
Get a half
I
pipe.
can't ski. I don't know anything.
I went once and hurt myself, and that was
I
it.
can't stop. So it's not a good
skiing
thing. I
is
can't
scary.
stop.
I think I'm that guy,
So-
I'll get out there and I'll make sure I buy all the good, cool looking stuff. And then as
bright
I'm going
coat.
down, my legs are spread. and I'll just end up running into a snow pile or something.
Reminds me of that scene from Dumb and Dumber, where he shows up in the bright neon ski suit and he's handing out $100 bills to all the valets and stuff. That would
Jim
be Tony.
Carrey.
Yes, 100%. That would be both of us, actually.
Probably.
And a lot of our athletes have service and support specialists. So, at meetings, we promote our service and support specialists to bring up Special Olympics as well, to make sure our individuals know that that's something that they can be a part of. So,
Well, it's really, I think go ahead.
Well, I
I
just
was
wanted
going
to
to add.
go ahead.
I'm sorry. Just in order to participate, the physical has to be signed by a physician, but you also have to have a developmental disability or some kind of delay. There's a misnomer that you have to qualify for services for the board, but we actually have a couple guys who they were in car accidents or had an event that happened after the age of 22, which is the qualifying age to receive services. So if you were in an accident or were born with a developmental delay before 22, you're fine. But like I said, we have a couple guys who were in accidents or had some things happen, and therefore they meet the qualifications to participate, even though they don't receive board services.
yeah,
So.
they don't have to receive board services.
Okay. Well, I was kind of thinking, you remember they made that movie where Johnny Knoxville played in the Special Olympics? Was
Yes.
that? I
Yes.
couldn't imagine that
I'm not
being
a movie
too great
watcher,
of
so
a.
I've
I've
never
seen
seen
it.
it.
We always wondered what people who actually work at the Special Olympics thought of that. Was it too much?
It was
over-
too much. It
too
was
much?
over the top. In my eyes, it was over the top. Absolutely.
Just not done correctly. Is what.
No, I didn't think so. I mean, I felt like the girl that he liked, was drawn to, kind of babied him, treated him like a baby. And that's not something I like to do. I like to treat these guys like adults. I mean, that's what they are. We have people that'll say, my kids, some of our volunteers or people, I'm like, no, these are adults. I call them athletes. That's,
There you go.
that's the term I use in Special Olympics is these are athletes. These are individuals playing a sport. They're not our children. They're not our babies. They're not, they're not ours.
Yeah, got you.
So
That is 100% true.
yeah, but I thought he was a little ridiculous in the movie too. But I haven't seen it in a while, but no, I was not a big fan of the movie.
I could imagine.
Just because I've been
Johnny
through so
Knoxville
many.
is just a person in himself that you're either going to like or hate.
Yeah.
Like he's just that's his vibe. I was wondering though, how often are there new sports brought up and brought in, and how many of them do you have, and what's the process to get something new started?
So we try to start any new sport that Special Olympics Ohio recognizes as a sport. So the newest sport has been offered is cheer. Actually, I would have to say Lucas County was a big part of getting cheer started in Special Olympics Ohio
awesome.
to be considered a sport. We had a volunteer who was absolutely amazing and was a huge advocate to get Special Olympics Ohio to have cheer be recognized as a competitive sport. So I think this is our 4th year cheer is. Yes, I believe it's the 4th year that it's offered as a competitive sport. So at our state games this winter in February, cheer will compete against other cheerleaders and squads across Ohio. They meet twice a week now, and
Nice.
they have a routine that they're practicing. It's super cool, and we're talking about offering things like cornhole.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
I love cornhole. That is not a recognized sport, but it's a recreational activity
that a lot of people can do.
like.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And it's hyper-competitive.
We can
It
offer
is.
it to a lot of
I love
people, So, and we have boards.
We have the boards.
And there is a little bit of slow time in the summer where we only offer, golf and softball.
Right.
So there's a little lag time there that we could offer something like
Right.
cornhole.
Like we used to have soccer, which is a recognized sport by the state, but we couldn't sustain it. We didn't have the players, so we dropped.
That's a lot
We
of people.
dropped it.
Yeah.
Flag football has been relatively new.
But it's gaining popularity.
It's gaining popularity. I mean, this year it was so cool. We got to have the state games were held at the Hall of Fame in Canton. They have a campus and fields and things like that. And I guess I wasn't there, but it was a really cool
It was a
thing.
Cool, yeah.
The year before they played, or not before COVID, the last one that we had, they actually played down on Paul Brown Stadium, the Cincinnati Bengals Stadium in Cincinnati. So,
Yeah, we won there.
yes. So, I mean, it's been really cool. The Ohio State University hosts summer games. So, a lot of our athletes participate there at the facilities at Ohio State. So, that's really cool. So, there's some really great opportunities, not just locally, but,
Another cool thing that we offer that a lot of counties don't offer is it's called a intramural unified program. We work with the University of Toledo and offer basketball and flag football as an intramural sport. So students sign up at school online, and we promote all the this to our athletes, and we have about 6 weeks of flag football games where we can usually have enough athletes and students to divide it up into 4 teams, and we play at the University of Toledo, and our final game is played in the Glass Bowl. So that is something that has really kicked off, and the athletes really look forward to unified sports. So we're really trying to promote more unified. We do have a summer softball league within Lucas County, our own unified sports. Our own unified softball teams. So we have we had 4 this summer.
right.
And
that's
but this is
opened up-
community members.
Right. I was going to say
playing.
it's open up to the community so anybody can
That's
participate.
what I was going to ask. Because I remember I used to be in a few of those leagues, and one of my last times I had to get stitches was from that. Oh my goodness! Me and this guy going up for a loose ball. His head is coming up, my chin is coming down. Bow! wow. I'm leaking. It was at NODC. I'd never forget it. I had to go over to MCO and they stitched me up. And I couldn't play for the next week or so. But yeah.
It just really gives the community an opportunity to see what our program's about, and
and
everybody
realize
came back.
that people with disabilities are just like you and I, and so it's
competitors.
Yes.
Like that's like the only reason that happened to me, and I still have the scar underneath my beard. Because we were both going for a loose ball.
Yep.
Like those games, you would leave sweaty. You would leave like, man.
Yeah, our softball
beautiful.
games were quite competitive. And
well, and we also have intramural basketball, and that's pretty
yeah, I mean, we went
competitive too.
They have a unified intramural tournament that was in 2019, and we won in Ohio the tournament, and we went to the national tournament in Kansas. I mean, we took our athletes and University of Toledo students, and I think 5 of the athletes had never been on a plane before. So what an experience!
Yeah, and they
that
got
was.
to compete against other colleges
other colleges
intramural
across the country. Yeah, that
unified
was
team. So that was really cool.
probably my favorite experience.
That's really awesome.
But I was really nervous about sitting next to one of them who never flown, that he was gonna, because he was like, but no, what a great, yeah. I mean, so we've offered some experiences that, they may never get in a lifetime. So.
That's really awesome. I was interested when you said there's powerlifting. That's pretty awesome. Does that get super competitive? I mean,
a lot of our guys they're not as motivated, I think, but it is really cool to watch them. They deadlift and they bench. Mm-hmm. And, usually practices start about this time of year, November, and then they compete in June. And they have to go to a qualifier. And this past year, there was not a Special Olympics qualifier that we could get to, and they actually competed at the USA Powerlifting
invited us,
and it was here in Perrysburg, and they competed alongside typical individuals, and that was really cool.
Yeah,
that's really awesome. I think. If I remember correctly, one of the friends that I have at the gym I go to helps coach your cheerleading. Her name's Melanie.
Yeah,
she's always.
I just saw her last night.
Yeah. She's always at the gym lobby teaching over Zoom, or she was last year all the time. She would be in the lobby, and we would be like, "What is she doing
during COVID?"
Let's go. Let's go.
Go,
Melanie is amazing. She loves volunteering, and she's got her brother volunteering. He's a coach for basketball now. It's infectious, and we are so fortunate in Lucas County to have so many volunteers.
We have the best volunteers.
3 coaches for each basketball team.
Wow. Volunteers. We have 4 teams, and we have a skills development program where
with 4 coaches.
They have 4 as well.
4 coaches.
And I have to give a shout out to her husband, who has been a volunteer, not because he has to, but because he wants to. And he volunteers all year round. He's been, over 20 years?
Wow.
Rob is phenomenal. So, but we have great coaches, and they stay.
They don't want to leave. I mean,
it's great.
What's next, Kelly? What sport's coming up? But I mean, mind you, during basketball season, we travel just like a high school team. Mm-hmm. We go to Lima. We have a team going to Columbus next weekend.
Wow.
I mean, our volunteers are driving themselves during the week to Lima or Findlay. Thursday night, we're going to Findlay. Our coaches gladly drive down there. I mean,
that's awesome.
Yes, we are so fortunate because so many other counties have issues with finding volunteers. And I'm like, we do not have that issue.
It's always a great problem to have.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
So when is the Special Olympics? Like, when does the whole big thing go down? The national, I don't know. How does it work? Like, I don't know how it works. Regional, national, local.
You want to go ahead?
Sure. Every year, every sport has a regional competition. It used to be area, but then the state redid things and made 4 regions. So they put the areas together and divided them into 4 regions. And as a region, there's 15.
There's 4 regions.
How many counties are in?
22 in ours.
22 in our, so Northwest Ohio and a little further. There's 22 counties that will come together and compete. So every sport except powerlifting, really.
Yeah, whoever offers.
Whatever sports are offered, they will have a competition depending on, during the season, track and field, or we have spring games, which is the spring sports, volleyball, track and field, bocce, tennis.
Yeah.
And then so they all compete in the regional level, and then we say they qualify, but the state, we let them know how many individuals we have that want to go to the next level, and they give us a quota. A lot of times they'll say, okay, we can accommodate X amount of players or X amount of athletes.
Yes, like
And
so many bocce teams.
So many bocce teams and such. And so, we select them based on their performance at regionals, and then they'll go to the state games. We basically have the large state games. When we talk about state games, summer games is the big shebang at Ohio State, and they have the torch, the torch run, and then the
ceremony.
escort of the troopers, and I mean it's just phenomenal. The parade of athletes, and it's just really cool to watch. But then we do that, like softball will have their own state championship, and golf, and football. But then winter, we have the winter sports then will come together, and that's actually, we're lucky, it's in Bowling Green at BGSU. And then there's actually levels beyond that. If you finish first, you explain the state or the national
For the national,
competition.
they did recently revamp. So if you win at the state level, you may qualify to go to nationals.
Okay.
Nationals, each state is given certain sports that they're allowed to bring. So last year when nationals happened, swim was one of the sports that Special Olympics Ohio was able to take, I think, 3 athletes.
Mm-hmm.
So then you can sign up, one of your athletes, or not sign up, but
Submit
you
their
can submit
name.
them, nominate them. That's the word I was saying.
Yes.
I nominated one of our athletes who's been a part of Special Olympics for over 30 years, our 60-year-old. And she was chosen to go to Orlando this past
nice.
year.
Wow.
Actually, it was in June. So, and stayed 12 days in Orlando to compete at nationals.
Right.
So it's not an easy road to get to nationals because it really depends on what sport Ohio is able to take. We were actually able to take a power lifter as well. So, I mean.
And cheer.
And a cheerleader. So we
All right.
typically would never send 3 people to USA Games. So we did send 3 people,
Right.
which is unheard of. But, we had 3 that I nominated, and, they had all earned it. They all deserved to go. So.
Well, you just you reminded me of that story that was down there. I believe a few of the individuals came up missing. I don't know. I believe down in Florida, there was some Special Olympic. Dude,
I don't
it tripped me out. And I want to say it was just recently because I was down in Florida. And I remember seeing the news story about it. I'm gonna look more into it.
Yeah.
No, they weren't our people, thank
I'm
God.
glad because I was
no.
asked to go down as a coach.
Really?
But my daughter graduated the same week.
Oh.
Darn her. I had to make a choice.
Yeah.
Go to
Your daughter
Orlando
will
or
never
watch my
forgive
daughter
you.
graduate high school. I chose my
How was
daughter.
Orlando?
Well, and the cool thing about it is the national games are set up just like the regular Olympics. It happens once every 4 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so that's really cool. So it's extra special. And then beyond that,
Games.
we have world games where you can actually compete against other countries. I think they had, and they alternate just like the real Olympics. A couple years ago, they had the winter games, or they're having it this year maybe. And then they had the national games.
Nationals just happened, and World Games is this
World
next
Games,
year.
Right.
I can't remember where it's at, but we have sent athletes to World
Oh,
Games.
we have? That was before my time.
Mike, one of our tennis players,
Oh, he did. I didn't know
went
that.
to World Games, and another, actually him and his partner went to World Games. So yeah, we have had, it was before my time, but I was volunteering at the time, and I do remember. So that's a huge honor, is, to go to World Games. That's a tough road to get to as well, but we have several athletes that have their eye on that
Right.
prize. So
It's out of our hands, but we can
definitely
support
nominate
'em
and support them.
nominate 'em. Mhm.
So how does that work? Like when, say you're sending someone to the nationals or internationals, whatever so do you guys help pay for that, or is there a funding source for that comes from? How does that all work?
This past year, Special Olympics Ohio raised enough money to where we didn't have to pay for the athletes to go. The last time we sent somebody, each local had to pay for their athlete so many thousands of dollars, and we would do fundraisers. And what we had them do is had the athletes be a part of the fundraiser. This is for you, so you're going to be a part of the fundraising process.
You have to be vested in the
in the cause.
experience.
There and sell those chocolates.
Yep, exactly.
Quick update. The 6 members, they were 6 members of the Hades Special Olympics delegation, and they reported missing back in June 6th of 2022.
Yeah, that's when.
That's when they were done.
When they were down there.
June 12th, they end up finding them, but they were past their asylum. So they now I guess they were working on trying to get some stuff. There's limited coverage on it, but
Where were they from? Haiti.
yeah.
Well, they're like,
scary.
heck, I'm out of here.
Man.
I don't blame them. I do the same thing.
Yeah.
Don't send me back there. It's hot. It's hot.
Well, it was hot down in Orlando, but man,
know,
our
but it's-
athletes it was miserable.
It does get pretty bad down there.
Yeah,
and
especially
in June,
summertime.
Yeah, I don't
was-
think they'll go there again.
No, they're going to Minnesota next.
Minnesota.
I love the cold. I'm sorry. I'm that person.
I'm
When
waiting
every-
for Hawaii. I will volunteer to be a
they're not-
coach
they'll
when they're
never
going to
have it
Hawaii.
there.
I'll go.
I'll volunteer too.
I'll let them know.
Yeah, I'm sure my wife is on that and my kids. We would be a whole
The
family.
whole family
going.
volunteers.
Well, of course, you're going to have to take your camera guy, right?
Oh, yes,
To
you know,
film
of
the Special
Of course,
Olympics.
absolutely. Well, I have a question for you guys.
Yeah,
When are
uh-oh.
you going to come challenge a few of our athletes in a game?
Yeah, we heard that the gauntlet was dropped.
Yes,
They're bringing it. They want it.
yeah. For our next segment, in the new year, it's going to be called Paul Does Sports, and it will be hopefully a great help from you ladies finding us competitors to first show Paul a little bit about the sport, but then just embarrass him, like just dunk on him and everything.
That's not
else.
a problem.
It's not in my contract, but I'll take one for the team. This will be interesting because I'm not. I mean, I do like weightlifting and stuff, but I would not say I'm an athlete.
I'm sure the
We could
pep
s-
club would
we could
love
start
to have
you in
you.
cheer. That's exactly what I was going to say. We can start you in cheer.
You don't have to do the split, so you're good.
I cannot.
Cartwheel?
There would be some
try.
hospitalization if I tried to do the splits. Yeah, I'll
You could
dress
be our
up in a.
mascot. We just got a mascot costume. That was
Uh-oh.
our new
Yeah,
purchase.
we're sporting our.
That's
We're
our
called the
lightning
Lucas
bolt.
County Lightning.
All right.
Is our
So we have a
our
lightning bolt
mascot.
mascot. Yeah, I just got it.
Okay, I like.
I think you might be a little tall for it, but we could make
Tony,
it
I
work.
think Tony would make a good
Tony
mascot
would
because he's
actually
got
fit
the
well.
energy.
Yes.
Yeah,
He has the mascot
I would just be
energy.
sweating like hell under.
He's sweating now. Yeah, he would really be
always
sweating.
hot.
We had to turn the heat off in this studio.
It
'cause
is a little warm
It
in
gets
here.
too
Yeah.
hot.
It is. Are you warm?
I'm good.
Okay.
We don't do it on purpose. Our landlord doesn't listen to us when we ask him to
Gotcha.
turn the heat down. But aside, yeah, the sports segment should be fun. I'm not an athlete. My greatest accomplishment in sports growing up was I scored a basket for my team in grade school, but it was for the wrong team.
Do you have any participation trophies or?
I got nothing. I was so
We
bad.
could probably arrange to
I can
give you
get
a
you
special
something.
Olympic medal. Well, he's got to earn it. We just
Yeah,
Yeah,
give
you
him
have
he's
to
gonna
earn
have to
it.
win.
Right. Let me win.
I don't want any special privileges
And
here.
if I cannot
wanna-
win,
Let me be brave in the attempt. That's the
Ooh,
That's
Special
our oath.
Olympics are oath.
I have a feeling I will not be winning anything. That's what my gut says.
But
that.
you be brave in the attempt. Maybe
I will be brave in the attempt.
That's
I
what
will-
Michigan's motto is as well.
Oh, she got you there.
she did just
better
right
not.
there.
Well, speaking
We got
of
spanked, so I guess I should not do that.
You know, Lisa's
Speaking
gonna
of
have your head.
competition-
Listen to this.
I think it's time we play a little game show.
Yes, something that we like to call rapid fire. No,
Okay.
rapid
I love
fire.
games. We're both very competitive.
Yes,
so
we are.
Bring
You know
it.
what?
Well, the
I
prize
figured
is
as much.
have to longer have to talk to us after it's over.
Hey, I got
I need
a
to drink
quicker
the water.
thinker too.
All right, rapid fire is when I ask 3 questions. They are set in a would you rather scenario. The quicker you answer, the better it is. But sometimes I start talking because I want to see the logic behind why you picked what you picked.
Okay.
So are we answering them
Together? Can we just-
Yes, I want you both to answer.
Spit it out.
Okay.
All
Yeah.
right.
All right. Would you rather play basketball in your socks or baseball with a blindfold?
Baseball with
in
a
my
blindfold.
socks.
Yeah, oh. Hey,
You would play baseball with the blindfold?
Softball, not baseball.
How would you see the ball?
Like the Karate Kid.
you bunt it.
Yes.
You just gotta know
Someone
your
hit
bunt.
it at you.
I
you
would
can't
have
field
the
it.
catcher telling me when it's coming in.
It's coming.
I
like it.
Yeah, but they on the other team.
I just
Echolocation.
All right.
Would you
Basketball.
rather a soccer player kick you or a softball player uppercuts you?
Soccer.
softball player uppercut.
You guys are not on the line with each other.
They kick with cleats.
I know, but we have shin guards on.
Not everybody does, do they?
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
He didn't say where you're going to get kicked.
Yeah, look,
Did you say kicked in the leg?
No,
No.
just kick.
Hey,
kicked.
I did.
Personally, I was thinking my
No
genitals.
injury
Like, that's
to-
scary.
No injury to the face. I would die if I
Well,
ever got
I was
hit
just
in the
thinking
nose.
of your, you
Yeah, I don't need any more
look
chin.
at
Chin hurts.
I could grow a beard. And,
Cushion like. All right, last one. Would you rather run a marathon backwards or swim in an Olympic-sized pool of urine?
Oh my gosh.
I'd
You're
rather
just
run in a
swimming through it.
marathon
Like you're just swimming
backwards. No urine for me.
There's no way I can walk a marathon. That's 26 miles.
Could you
I
swim
could not
urine?
go. No.
through. I just go in that sterile urine.
Would you really?
Yes, I would.
Oh, no urine.
Urine is
I couldn't
sterile.
do it.
You just ruined the whole show.
I did.
That is a disgusting question. I'm appalled.
I think your wife would pick the running backwards too. I mean, I don't think
you
she could
guys-
ever look at you the same knowing that you were in urine.
You ladies are lucky because I used to have my kids help me with these, and every single one had poop in it, like blood and bites and fights. And so it got deep.
Obviously, nothing's changed when you read the questions
Yes,
either. So.
I mean, I use urine instead of feces.
Well, anyway, thank you both for playing our little game here and coming in and talking about Special Olympics. I think it's a great thing for people to become aware of. I know Special Olympics in the disability world is probably the most, having has the most awareness, I would say.
It's
Yeah,
one of the
most
most
people-
recognized
Yeah.
things. Yes, absolutely.
Because not a lot of people are really too worried about residential care and stuff like
Yes.
that. But the Special Olympics has a following, which is a good thing. So I think bringing awareness helps a lot. And, just getting people active nowadays, whether they have disabilities or not, is a huge thing. So I
Yes.
think it's very, very awesome. So if people want to learn more or people want to get involved, volunteer, just awareness in general, how can people find you guys on the internet?
www.specialolympics. No. You can go to the Lucas County Board of Developmental Disabilities website, which is lucascountydd.org, I believe.
I think so.
Or Lucas County Special
then
Olympics.
Special Olympics has their
yes,
own
we have a
tab.
drop-down tab. There you can learn all about our sports. I believe there's a volunteer application. We didn't really talk about that, but you have to be a certified volunteer if you're going to be working one-on-one with individuals for liability issues. You fill out an application, you do some classes and a background check, and that's all free. I mean, we pay for all that, but and it's good for 3 years. And then there's also a new athlete application and information. There's ways to get a hold of us. So you can also follow us on Facebook at Lucas County Special Olympics. And I want to give a shout out, or I want to let people know that we offer these activities and sports at no cost or very low cost to the athletes. So anything, whether we have to there's registration fees, there's a lot of times we don't have facilities, so we have to pay for the facilities, basketball courts, softball fields, that kind of thing. We pay for all the equipment or most of the equipment, the uniforms, the referees,
Hotel stays
for overnight trips. We provide the vans and some of the transportation. So for summer games, it can run us about $10,000 to $12,000.
It was 16
Oh,
last year.
16. Sorry. We charter a bus. We have to charter a bus.
Oh, yeah.
All the costs to stay in the dorms overnight and all the food and everything. So we fundraise for all that. Anything that's related to the expense of the athletes is all money that we either through donations or fundraising. We have a big golf scramble that's our largest fundraiser in the summer. So, like I said, it's pretty much free to the athletes. There's a few things like they may, if they want their own cleats or helmet or things like that. Golf clubs. There's some things that we don't provide, but for the most part, we do. And so we thank the community. Dana's been a great sponsor for our organization. So we couldn't do it without the donations because we're housed at the Board of Developmental Disabilities here in Lucas County. They pay for the salaries of the staff and our overhead, our offices, vans, and things like that. But everything and anything that's related to the athletes is all donations. So I just wanted to throw that out there. And all of our coaches are volunteers. We don't pay them. We do give them maybe a stipend for gas every now and then. But yeah, so we can't do it without the community and the support of and providers like you. So we greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yes.
Well, thank you ladies both so much for coming in here. I learned a lot about Special Olympics. I think it's really a great thing for people to get involved with. And, you know, if you got to give back to your community, that's one way to do it. And it's fun.
Yes.
And you can come to any
Come
game.
to
It's
a game.
free.
And
There's
the
no
schedules
charge.
are on our website.
Yes, we have the schedules put on our website, and come out and join us. Bring individuals out to watch their peers.
Let's go.
Yes.
I like it.
It's such a great feeling to watch, you know, all those moments. You know, we don't always win, so sometimes it's, you know, like anyone else, they're competitive, but it's so cool to watch.
Well, you should be used to that losing thing right now. Go Blue!
He didn't get you back.
Yes, I deserve that.
You deserve that one.
I deserve that. I'll put my head down.
Oh, thank you, ladies.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much. Look forward to having you at basketball and cheer soon.
Oh, boy.